Yo, 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 it's your boy Dingo here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to spawn trap the opposing team on the map Turbine. This is a full tutorial including starting routes, spawn points, spawn flips, positioning, score streaks, and what weapons to use. It's important to have a full team all on the same page as you. Also, they should have mics. Communication is the key to victory. Turbine has 2 starting points. Since Domination now has 2 rounds, you will be spawning at both of these throughout the game. In both rounds, you're going to want the A Alpha flag and B Bravo flag. Why don't you want C, the Charlie flag? Take a look at this overview. See how Charlie is condensed compared to Alpha? And on top of that, C is the low ground. In any war, you want the high ground. Alright, so let's dive into starting routes. When you start at the Alpha flag, it's pretty simple. Take A, then you're going to have 2 teammates cut to the left, who won't go to Bravo, but will cut down the opposition going to the number 2 building, and any flankers from going back trail. You want to have 7 start off going towards Bravo from pretty much every trail that leads there. But before you get there, you want to have 1 or 2 veer off to the right and kill any opposing forces that are going to kill your teammates on B from the right ledge. Now when you spawn on the Charlie flag, take the flag, get some quick points, and then your whole team moves up the far left and the middle left. Everybody kind of takes their own route so you're not bunched up getting each other's way, but you're all moving up the same side of the map. This next part is important. Don't take the Bravo flag. Keep moving up the left and capture the Alpha flag first. The purple bubble in the diagram is an area you typically want to leave 2 or 3 teammates to kill the enemies from getting B. Now why did we not take B, you ask? I'm glad you did. When you have C and B, their whole team is going to keep spawning in A. And since you've steamrolled them this far, they're going to start digging in and hiding every fucking nook and cranny. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. But if B hasn't been taken by your team, their spawn will shift the second you get close to A. First, as you start taking the A flag, their spawn will shift to this rock on the back trail. And as you finish capping A, it'll shift over to this truck over by building 4. This is really close to C, and you have A, so the enemies will run down there and capture C, and once again, you have them right where you want them. Then you take the B flag, same as if you had started at A. Before we get into positioning, I wanted to cover this really quick. Pick 1 or more of these score streaks and equip it. Sure, none of these are going to get you kills, but what they will give you is points towards your next streak, as well as dramatically help your team. Communication and intel are the strongest arsenal you have at your disposal when playing with a team, so don't be selfish. Have 1 or more of these equipped at all times. Alright, let's get into positioning. We're going to start on the left and work our way to the right. On the left, you're going to need 2 to 3 of your teammates to cover this area. I have 4 different example positions. You choose what ones you feel comfortable holding down. Positions 2 and 3 are great sniping positions that force the enemies into a bottleneck of death. Also, from position 3, you can spawn kill. It doesn't hit their primary spawn point, but does hit one of the enemy's satellite spawn points. Position 1 is a great place to have an assault rifle or LMG. You blow up the white truck and use it for cover. Your job from position 1 will be to protect positions 2 and 3 when they get overflowed by the enemies. Lots of enemies try to get out of their base this way at the beginning of matches. Position 4 has a great angle on any enemies on the bridge or anyone trying to get by in the lower canyon, and can also be more support for the left overflow coverage. I suggest having an assault rifle or an LMG for this position as well. Before we get to the middle, I'd like to thank all of you that put the really supportive comments in the last video, How to Spawn Trap Raid. In the last video I asked you what map you wanted to see next, and only 2 of you got at me. Kamasu83 would like to see Drone, and Davion Monroe would like to see Plaza. So tell me which of these you would like to see next, Drone or Plaza. Also, those of you that don't know, if you're having problems with something like camos, spawn trapping, or pretty much anything COD related, you can message me and I'm pretty good at getting back to you in a timely manner. Twitter is the easiest way to contact me, so if you want, follow me on Twitter. So back to positioning for the middle. In the middle, you need to have 4 to 5 teammates for full coverage. Position 1 is a typical spot that everybody has been sniping from since day 1, so let's waste no time there. Position 2 is just inside the turbine. It's a great head glitch. You can use any weapon you want here from snipers to shotguns, plus all of these kills are worth defense points. So it's a good way to get your score streaks with only a few kills. Position 3 is a little further up the turbine, also a head glitch with good sight lines into the lower canyon of the middle. I would suggest using a sniper here, but you may be able to pull it off with LMGs and assault rifles with target finders. Position 5 is a great place to snipe from. It has direct sight lines into the enemy's flag and all of the lower middle canyon. Unfortunately, here you are relatively far, so you'll need to equip a variable zoom scope. Position 6 has relatively the same sight lines as position 5, but is closer, so you could get away with using LMGs and assault rifles with target finders. All of these positions are just suggestions. You can go anywhere you feel comfortable. When watching the middle, I suggest you float around to a few of these spots. When you wear out your welcome at one location, move to the next. Finally, we're to the right. The right typically needs 2 teammates to hold down, with occasional backup support from the middle. The right has advantages and disadvantages. An advantage the right has is it's in a building, so it's good if the enemy gets a score streak for some godforsaken reason. It also only has a one-door bottleneck. Disadvantage is this building is very close to where the enemy's primary flip spawn is, but we'll get to that in a second. Positions 7, 8, and 9 are all held down with whatever weapons you feel like using the most, snipers to shotguns. Position 8 and 9 are both good head glitches to watch the door. Position 9 is a ballsy location that you need to be quick on your toes. You can't go out on the bridge, and you can't go down the path to the right, but you can snipe across the bridge to enemies on the left, as well as get the first opportunity to kill enemies coming up the path. Disadvantage to this spot is there's no good cover. Moving on to flip zones and flip spawns. First, I'm going to show you the areas you can't walk into without flipping the enemies. All of the red areas will flip the enemies if you walk into them. The enemies that die while you're in the red area will flip, and continue to flip for around 10 seconds after you leave the red. As you enter these areas, you shut off the enemy's spawn point. On this map, they have a very condensed spawn area, so if you enter these areas, even for a small time, you could have a very big flip on your hands. If you need to pause the film on any of these frames, please do so. Also, tell your clan and your friends that you play with to watch these videos, because it doesn't matter if you're a spawn trap extraordinaire if they're still noobs messing up your trap. Alright, here's the enemy's only spawn point when trapped. See how they're all together at the same area? That's why it's such a big deal if you enter the red flip zones. When you flip them with lightning strikes, hellstorm missiles, and people entering the spawn, their primary flip spawn is located over here near the number 3 building. If they don't spawn here because somebody is watching this area, then they spawn on the back trail as a secondary flip spawn. It took me a long time to make this video for you, and it only takes you a second to clickety-clack that like button, so please do. And as always, I've been Dingo, and you stay classy.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
Oh my God.
Oh, damn.
Did you see that?